to start recording. Okay. So, good morning. My name is Dalene Allen, Executive Director of BNI, Business Network International for Nova Scotia, and I'm very excited to introduce you to one remarkable woman who's also a BNI member, but she is a remarkable woman whether she's in BNI or not. This is Leanne Myles from Clinton Wilkins Mortgage Team, and she is your magician. And now with a little more time on your hands, what a perfect time to have somebody look over your mortgage. So Leanne, what I love best about you is tell us about your why.
So I guess I got into mortgage brokering a little bit by accident. About 15 years ago, I used to work at Emergency Health Services, and I learned a long time ago that I do well when I'm helping people. And I learned that because I was doing database work at EHS that was helping patients on the ground. And then I left that job and I went to be a programmer at XWave, where I was doing the same work, but it didn't have any effect on people. So I was sharing with a lot of friends about a mortgage that I had told people about that they had great success with it. And I just sort of kept telling people about it, and I was really passionate, and I just accidentally got into mortgages. So I was very frustrated with my job one day, and I called the girl that set up my Manulife One, and I said to her, hey, I see you have a job posted. And she was like, oh my God, I want to hire you right now. So I got into it. So I learned early on with testing with Manulife Bank that my why has completely to do with the ability to affect somebody's outcome or just to help. So, and that, as much as I probably knew that at heart, I didn't have words that went with it, but they really helped me identify my why.
Well, and let me tell you, Leanne, I have never met anybody with a bigger heart. I have never met anybody so willing to help, jump in, create magic for people in need. And truly, the number of people that I've watched that you've helped who likely have been turned down by everybody else for a mortgage, you're like an angel to many people, and I appreciate you so much. So, but here's the thing, we're teaching people now about what to do with this COVID-19, and we're all stuck in our homes. So are you, number one, still lending money, Leanne, and are you still doing mortgages?
So yes, we are still lending money. We're still doing a lot of mortgages, but we're doing them a little bit differently now. So where, 4 weeks ago before COVID and all that stuff, we were doing things one way, and now today we're doing them another. So there's a little bit more due diligence that's being done on files. So as an example, I have a couple that were buying a rental property in another part of Canada, and the due diligence on that file was far more extensive than it would have been had it been 4 weeks ago. We're digging in, he's self-employed, what do you do? How are you doing it? How are you making money today? Whereas previously we would just look at their 2-year history and say, yay, let's just do the deal. Of course, if you are on the front lines, if you're a healthcare worker, a paramedic, nurse, somebody like that, you're working and you're still continuing to be able to do what you need to do. So, I've done a few renewals as well as transfers for paramedics, a couple of nurses. I'm working on a deal right now for 2 doctors that are buying their dream cottage. So for them, it hasn't changed. But, what we're doing essentially is we are actually just anybody that's been affected by COVID, we're delaying their closing. So yes, we can still look at things, we can review, and we can just move the closing date out a little bit further so that, you can at least know that your financing is coming and you can take comfort in that. But we can't lend money based on, CERB benefit. And I'll be honest with you, I do work with alternative lenders, and they have looked at some files for clients that are on the CERB. And, while the deal didn't work, they were actually willing to consider looking at that, which is pretty cool.
Really cool. Wow. So with COVID-19 here, what has changed, and what do I as a consumer really need to know about what's changed?
So there's a lot of policies that have changed. COVID-19 has driven our rates down to some of the lowest rates that we've seen in years. Prime was continually staying steady, and it was creeping up. And it's funny, the rate dropped, and it prime rate dropped by 1.5 points over a 2-week period. And I had people calling me saying, oh my God, should I lock in? Should I lock in? Because of course they're thinking that the exact opposite is going to happen within a couple of weeks. But with rates going down due to COVID and the economy, they're not actually going to come back up quickly. This is, again, like a 2008 scenario where the rates are down and they're going to stay down, and it's a result of the economy. They're not immediately going to jump back up. So if you have a variable rate, stay in it. If you have a fixed rate, well, let's look at your renewal. But it has drastically affected, prime hasn't been touched in many, many years, and it's actually, went up high, but today we're seeing it's way down, and it could, you know what? I mean, I'm not making any predictions, but it could go lower. And while people love low rates, it means that the economy is not doing well. That's the other side.
Well, then let's say, being that we all are stuck at home, having a little bit more time, what a perfect time to have somebody like you who knows all kinds of lenders reevaluate.
Yeah, and we're doing some reevaluation. I've had a few clients in the past couple of weeks that have just, their mortgage is coming up for renewal in 6 months. Should I do it now? Should I wait? I've got some equity in this house. Should I look at taking it out? By all means, we should always do a review. Let's take stock of what you have, and let's see if there's opportunity there. If there's opportunity, great. We take it and we move forward. But if there's not, you at least know that you looked at it and you have comfort in knowing that you're on the right track and you're on the right course. You should always be reviewing your mortgage. We send out in January, I believe it is, the opportunity to get a mortgage review to all of our clients. So if you're on our list, we're going to do that for you. And you can say yes or no, we're interested, we're not interested. It's really important that even though you signed a 5-year commitment, that you re-review things, because there's savings. There's always savings, or there's equity to be gained, or there's an opportunity in something else. So yeah, it's created a lot of people to just sort of, take a step back. I actually have a friend of mine who we placed in a mortgage last year, and she was at prime minus 0.2. And, rates came down, and oh my God, we're saving her, I think 1.2 on her rate. Her savings are somewhere around $370 a month in her mortgage payment. She's really, really happy. But we went in last year knowing that we would do variable until we could find her something fixed that she was happy with. So, that works for some people, it doesn't for others.
Great. Okay. So if we're thinking long haul and we cannot predict this, as a consumer, what are some tips that you could give?
As a consumer, so if you've lost your job, if you've both lost your job, by all means, take the mortgage deferral. You need to be patient, because we're getting calls from 60% of people that don't need a deferral. But if you've lost your job and you need to defer. There are car companies that are helping people. There are credit card companies that are helping people. If you need to defer, do it. You need to be able to feed your family and keep the lights on today. What it's going to look like down the road, we all have to worry about today. Something that I'm telling people as well is keep your cash in reserve. So if you have credit cards, or if you have loans, or if you have mortgages and you were planning to do a lump sum payment, or maybe you pay your credit card off every month, but now you've lost your job, I'm recommending to people that they go minimum payment. Like if you've lost a significant amount of income, just maintain your credit. Don't worry about getting things paid down. Let's hope that we're only in this for a couple of months. But if not, if we have to go the long haul, cash is king. You need to be able to pay your mortgage down the road. You need to be able to put food in the fridge, and you can't do that unless you have cash or credit.
Great. Okay. Anything else you want to add? That was amazing.
I think there's a misconception out there that, that financing, I've had a lot of people ask me, are our doors open? We are open. We're open 24/7, most of us. I like to walk away from my computer and my phone at 5 o'clock and spend time with my family, because I could work around the clock. Ask the questions. It doesn't cost you any money to ask the questions. Reach out. We're here. If you know a broker, we're all here to help. And we're all working for you, not for the institution.
Exactly. And rates are not the only thing, Leanne, are they?
No, they're not. Solutions are, I'm a solutions-based mortgage broker. You should always get a best rate no matter what. Like that, you should always get the best rate for your situation. When it comes to lending, it's a spectrum. So I do lending right from private over to purchase with 5% down. And by that, I mean, I've got a gentleman who owns a house, but it's not complete, and nobody will lend him money because his house is not complete. So we're doing a mortgage for him at 12%, but we're doing it for 2 months. It's a means to an end, right? So in actual fact, with his fee and his rate for 2 months, he's going to pay 6%. And that's not a bad rate to pay when I can then in 2 months time get him back over to a regular mortgage. So it's not just about rate, it's about getting money when you need it most.
Exactly. And having somebody who's creative and definitely customer focused on finding solutions. Leanne Myles is your woman. Thanks so much, Leanne. That was phenomenal.